All right, y'all go on my YouTube. Say hey. Yeah, this is so cute. Oh my gosh. Look at this big shirt. You want to take a picture? Nice.
We need a gelato shower.
Be nicer if they were connected.
Yeah, I thought they were.
They might be in some sense, but not.
How do you get on the VIP list? Like, how do you register?
I'm not quite sure. I think when you like RSVP for like maybe there's like a thing for RSVP as VIP.
Yeah, because this is my first, so yeah.
This is my first time volunteering, so.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I just had to stay up to date.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna move it. Yeah. Who would like some coffee? Yes. What you got?
Espresso-based drinks, matcha, chai.
I'll probably. They have chai, golden milk, hot chocolate, matcha. I'll take one too, but with oat. Yeah. Oh, that's so cute.
Hot chocolate.
Yeah, that's yours. With the regular milk. Ooh, be careful. That is so cute.
Oat milk hot chocolate.
Just that we were here for a fashion event, so I won't go too deep, nerdy, technical. If anybody would like to have a very nerdy conversation with me after this talk, you're more than welcome. I'd be very happy to do that. But the purpose of today's conversation is to kind of set the stage in terms of where we are at as an industry, where technology fits into the equation right now. And I know typically when we're having this conversation, we're talking about the future, but in this, the metaverse and all of this in a lot more detail. But they reached out to us because we had activated a number of times on their platform. And we brought a lot of these celebrities, you know, people like French Montana, people like Paris Hilton, and we've activated them, Deadmau5, we've activated them in these virtual worlds in ways that were meaningful to their audiences, meaningful to the audiences of the platform itself. So we had a breakfast one morning, you know, in Miami at Art Basel, as one does. And we had a conversation, and they basically asked me, David, what does a fashion event look like in the metaverse? And this was kind of a very novel conversation at the time. So, I spitballed, I gave them my ideas, I gave them my 2 cents of what I thought this might look like. And when I left that breakfast, we created an event called Metaverse Fashion Week. And we put that event on for the first time in March, April of 2022. And that event was seen via media by over 1.2 billion unique people. And we had over 100,000 people attend it live in Decentraland in a on-chain integrated metaverse. And we'll talk about, again, what all that means if anybody's not, privy to all those words. But we created that event, and that event taught us a whole bunch of different things. First, it taught us that people were interested in digital experiences in a really legitimate way. But more so, we found the brands that were actually getting traction, the brands that were actually earning a media value, the brands that were actually getting an ROI and actually making sales from this type of an activation were the brands that were actually speaking to their consumers. And I know that sounds like a really obvious thing, but a lot of the time when brands were approaching these new technologies, how do we use an NFT? They were focusing on creating a sensational marketing activation for nobody in particular. A lot of people were using technologies like NFTs. Now a lot of brands are using things like AI for no other reason other than to use it, to be part of the conversation, to be part of, the trend. And what we found is the brands that actually decided to focus on things like a product that's really core to their consumers, focus on, a brand ideal that's really core to their consumers above, trying to just create a cool game activation were the brands that succeeded. So we worked with dozens of different brands. I mean, that first Metaverse Fashion Week had brands from Dolce & Gabbana, Etro, Elisab, a lot of mainstays. But we worked with a number of different amazing brands. One of them was Estee Lauder, who's a client of ours. And we actually built an activation for them. It's part of this video. You'll see it at the end. You'll see a little dropper. We built this activation for them in only a few weeks into the internet. So when I'm saying this, what I mean is it's affecting how we're storing information, how we're transacting data, so financially, and it's affecting the provenance and how we prove that we own something, authenticity, right? So this is really, when we're talking about the integration of Web3 into an ecosystem, we're talking about security. We're talking about financial, a lot of brands that are integrating the benefits of Web3 technology, which, if we're being honest, is really just safely and securely storing data or storing anything. When we're seeing brands do this successfully, for now, while the public is not fully literate on what it means to set up a cold wallet, or a lot of people probably don't even know what I'm talking about when I say that, what I am seeing brands doing, and which I very much encourage, is brands that are taking care of that part of the equation for you. When brands are storing data on chain, they're creating a custodial wallet to hold data on a user's behalf. And if a user wants to be savvy, and if a user wants to go through the steps of claiming that data and owning it themselves, they can. And you're seeing a lot of really big companies start to do this. I can't say who because it's under a lot of NDAs, but over the next 2 to 3 months, you're going to see one of the biggest companies in the world rolling out this kind of a solution for its users. And over the next 1 year, 1 to 2 years, I think you're going to see most, if not all, major institutions start opting to store their data in a more decentralized manner, start storing their data in a more secure manner is going to be a synonym for that we're going to start seeing be used more and more. And I think this is a really positive thing. So that's the Web3 part of this equation. Now let's talk quickly about, let's start thinking a little bit more big picture. But when we look at fashion on chain and connected commerce, when we look at, how a physical object is going to be minted on the blockchain, this is really how it's done via an NFC chip, via an RFID chip. And you can actually see an example of this, not an on-chain example, but still an example of it live over in the principal area here at LA Fashion Week, thanks to SAP. You can pick up one of those clothing pieces and scan it by a mirror, and you can have that experience yourself, at least in terms of how an NFC chip or an RFID chip works. So what? We're coming to the end of this conversation today. So what? What am I getting at here? What should we all take away from this conversation? If I can mention anything that I think is extremely relevant to every single person in this room, and I don't know everybody here, I'd love to get to know many of you after this, and anybody watching live on our live stream. I'd love to chat with you afterwards, but what are we getting at here? For me, the root of this conversation and the root of what I'd really like everybody to take away from here is that XR is not the future. This metaverse reality, this extended reality where we're spending time in virtual worlds on a daily basis is not the future. This is today. This is what we're experiencing on a daily basis. And I really do fundamentally believe that over the next 6 to 12 months, the way that we consume content, the way that technology is going to be relevant to our day-to-day lives and the tasks that we perform, is going to completely fundamentally change. So if I can, every time I have one of these conversations, I have people being like, hey, I'm a young fashion designer, I'm just getting started. Why is this relevant to me? This is relevant to you because Today, over 50% of the world is engaging with these technologies, in ways they may not think about. By tomorrow or next year, I have no idea what that number would be. So I really do encourage everybody to grasp these technologies now, and also take advantage of the fact that we have a bit of a level playing field, and not everybody knows everything about these technologies. That's really exciting, and that should be encouraging to a lot of people in this room. So the last thing I'll mention before I go into questions, because I would love to hear some questions from everybody if we have any time, is yes, I encouraged everybody in this room to start thinking about these technologies separately. And I do still encourage you all to do so, because I think that, looping all of this into one overarching category is not necessarily productive for us. Because if you say, I'm going to be a Web3 expert, and then that means you have to have, a degree in Unity and Unreal Engine programming or product management, and you also have to have, an expertise in AI, and you also have to be, a coder in 3 different programming languages. No, that's not necessary to this equation. But at the same time, what I do think is exciting, when we start thinking about each of these constituent elements as what they are, you can start bringing them together in ways that are actually productive. So it's not playing right now, unfortunately, but as you can see here, this is a little, I don't know if you can tell, but it's a little digital version of myself. This is a little avatar of me. We're creating avatars for a number of our clients, and not just avatars. We're creating avatars that are stored on chain, so they're Web3 integrated. They're stored on chain.
Are you serious? Oh yeah, you can. That's pretty cool.
Hey, I want to show you. Are we waiting for Jacob?
Western meets classy.
Okay, can you give us a full 360? Okay. Where's your shoes and your purse by?
What?
Where's your shoes and your purse by? Is that styled by your aunt too?
Oh no, I picked these out. Just the shoes. These are my shoes. I purchased on Amazon.
And the purse?
Oh, by my aunt.
Okay, by your aunt. Yes. Love original piece.
Yes, all original. Both of the shoes.
Okay. Do you guys plan on having a collab? Okay. Clothes by your aunt for couples coming to a store near you.